Hello there, lovely people. Welcome back to the HeadRightOut podcast. My name is Zoe Langley-Wathen and we're here with episode 4 today. I can't believe we're on to the 4th episode already. This is such a whirlwind and it's so exciting. What's even more exciting today is that we are going to be talking to Helen Jenkins. Now, this was a recording that was done, quite a few months ago now, June, if I remember right. And this is a slightly different recording because it's shorter and there are some different sound qualities to it, partly because we are cruising on the boat, partly because we have boats going by and because we have people out on the towpath. This is a face-to-face recording, not done over Zoom or, over the phone. So please excuse the recording. It's still a great episode with Helen. So Helen is a paddleboard instructor. She and Damon, her husband, have just recently launched their new paddleboard school in Monmouthshire. It's near Abergavenny and it is the only paddleboard school on the Mon and Brec Canal. So I'm not going to say anything else. We're just going to launch straight into the conversation. So if you can hear background noise, it's because we are cruising the boat down to Gilwan. We are going down to meet Helen and Damien, who are the founders of Blorenge SUP. And this is very exciting for both us and them because this week is their launch week for their new stand-up paddleboard school. And this week was also Mike's birthday, so I have got him a paddleboard lesson for his birthday, and we happen to be their first customers. So this is a very exciting time all round. Hello, heron. The heron has just sprung out from underneath the bushes. That was amazing. He was about a metre away from me. They're such graceful creatures. But we're cruising the boat down. We're just about to go under Bridge 101. So we're not too far away. We've got to get to Bridge 104. I'm looking forward to having a chat to Helen after we've had our session. I think we're going to be doing a little bit of mini celebrations for Blorenge SUP and for us as well, because this will be my first interview for HeadRightOut. And it sounds like my kettle's boiling. Wouldn't you know it? Okay, well, hello everybody and welcome. Today is the 21st. No, it's not. It's not even the 21st. 19th. It is the 19th. I'm ahead of myself. It's the 19th of June 2021. And today is an exciting day because I have certainly headed out of my comfort zone today. I have been for a paddleboarding lesson with my husband. It was a birthday present. And I bought him the birthday present because a friend of mine that I have made whilst I've been living up here on the canal has just set up her own paddleboarding business, and it's Blorenge SUP, founded by the wonderful Helen and Damon Jenkins. Hello, Helen.
Hello.
How are you, Helen? How are you feeling?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah,
I'm feeling very bubbly after that fizz.
I am. I'm pretty fizzy too.
My knees are wobbling for a different reason. I'm really, really grateful to you just taking the time to come and talk to us like this, because you've been working hard. You've spent some time working with Mike and I on the canal. I hope we haven't been too difficult, but yes, we've been up and down paddleboarding on the Mon and Brec Canal, and it's been absolutely amazing. And we even broke open a bottle of fizz. I say you broke open a bottle of fizz to celebrate, because this is not just our first time, or Mike's first time, it's my third. But tell me, this is quite an historical moment for you, isn't it?
It is. Today was our very first ever Blorenge SUP paddleboard session, and I was so pleased when I saw that Zoe had booked it for her and Mike. It would absolutely made my day. So I was absolutely thrilled to do it. And the first time nerves evaporated, but as soon as I saw you guys, because I just thought this is going to be such a lovely start to this, this whole job. This whole thing.
It's a journey, isn't it? It's an adventure.
This whole journey, exactly.
It's a great adventure. And I have to say, I was excited anyway when you told me that you were starting this business, Blorenge SUP. And So is it Blorenge SUP, not Blorenge SUP? Is that what you say?
Yeah,
well,
yes, either or. It stands for stand-up paddleboards. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I was really excited when you said you were starting Blorenge SUP, and I had in the back of my head that I wanted to get a lesson booked in for Mike for his birthday, which happened to be last week. So when you messaged me to say it's happening, we've had the go ahead from the Canal and Rivers Trust, it was like, wow, this is definitely going to work. And then I spotted, just purely by coincidence, because I'd liked Blorenge SUP on Facebook, and yeah, I spotted the post that came up to say we're taking bookings, and I was in there like a rocket. it was pure instinct, and just it just kicked in, and I booked, and I didn't know we were the first, but I'm just delighted that we were. That worked out really well. So Helen, I mean, where did this all start?
Well, Damon actually introduced me to the sport. He's taken up surfing sort of in early middle age, really. And I never really got on with surfing. I think I was probably too late to the party there. But then when we started moving on to, he sort of said, come and try stand-up paddleboarding. I absolutely love that. That was totally my game. I've always loved the water in any case, sort of swimming, and I like the hand plane. I don't know if anybody's aware of that. But definitely paddleboarding. You can go as fast as you want, or if you just want to get on the water and give yourself a chance to relax at the end of the day, it's that, and that's what I really like, is just getting my board out after work, chucking it on the canal, and just being in the moment.
I know it feels like a real buzzword at the moment, but it's such mindfulness, isn't it? Just being able to go out there and paddle and, like you say, go at your own speed and take in the sights. And I might not be at that place just yet, but I did experience it today. I had a few wobbles and I had a few shakes, and I know you spotted my knee shakes, particularly when I was getting up from my kneeling position up to my standing position.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't done that for a couple of years. I have been paddleboarding twice before, but once was 7 years ago in Poole Harbour, and the other one was in Shropshire with my good friend Ari. And I had the same shakes then, but I think it's going to take me a while to get back into that. But I definitely felt that almost feeling of meditation. And you'd asked me one question, and I have to apologise for this right now, but I know I realise now what you were doing, but you asked me one question, and I think it was something about HeadRightOut, and that was it. I was off on and I suddenly went from the knee wobbles and I just clicked into this autopilot and was just appreciating where I was, and it took my mind off of being scared. So that was really clever, thank you. So I'm going to stop now. So how long did it take for you to set up?
I think it's probably taken about at least 18 months to get to this point where we're actually able to offer the first session. We've talked about it, and so we started doing the training to become instructors with the Water Skills Academy. So we had to do the water safety course, we've done the foundation instructors course, and in between that we've had to do the 3-day first aid and really get all the paperwork together and get the permissions off the Canal and River Trust in order to operate. We live in a beautiful area, so everything that we want to do is really about complementing the area. We don't want to cause harm. We want to just share it with other people who might have an interest in paddleboarding but be too nervous to outlay all the money to buy one, and then not really have the confidence to take it on the canal, or have a bad experience and then it just gathers dust.
Yeah, and I guess if somebody has already bought a paddleboard and is maybe in that situation, this is a good opportunity for them to come out and improve that experience and get used, build that confidence and get used to being on their board. I'm now thinking, well, I've just spent 2 hours out on the canal with you, and I'm thinking, when am I going to get to do it again? So, it might be that we end up having to buy a paddleboard, and we'll find a place or tuck it either in the van or on the boat somewhere. So I have to apologise for any sound that happens whilst we're chatting. We've just had a boat go by, and that's the wonderful nature of living on the canal. You've always got water traffic that's going up and down. So Helen, you've said about some of the things that you had to do in order to set the business up with the training and the certification. And I know you were really nervous in the last few weeks about whether you were going to get permission potentially from the Canal and River Trust to set up your business and operate from here. But what other things did you find that actually stood in your way? And these could be things that are physical barriers, like, red tape, or it potentially could be mental barriers, that you've perhaps put up yourself. If you're anything like me, I put those up all the time.
I think there was definitely, actually the paperwork is just a process that you go through, and it's just about being patient and making sure that you do exactly what's asked. They're there for a reason. I think the biggest hurdle for me has been making sure that we are managing our time, because we both work full time. So I think my wobbles in the past few weeks have actually been more about having to put time aside in order to dedicate to completing the paperwork. And that has certainly ramped up in the past couple of weeks. And now we've got the sessions, and we're in the lovely position of actually being able to say when we can operate the sessions. And that's the fun bit, actually. It's lovely to meet people. Whenever we go out on the water, you always see something. The wildlife around here is absolutely divine. You always see something different every time you go out, and it's a really lovely calm setting. You don't get waves. It's very calm. Yeah. It's quite shallow. It's warm, so it's a really nice, fairly safe place to operate. For beginners to try, it's really nice. Yeah,
there's no tides, are there? I think that the most you'll get is a slight wash from a boat when a boat goes by. Yes. But it's not a wave exactly.
Yes. No, that's right. Yeah. It's a great beginner's place.
Yeah, ripples. We saw a few ripples from the wind as it started to increase today, but it wasn't anything that we needed to be concerned about today. Although I'm sure there probably are times where you do need to be mindful of that.
Yes, there are. I mean, there are certain weather conditions where you don't want to be operating on the water, and certainly high winds is one of them. So definitely, there's some really good apps that you can download, such as Windy, and if the wind conditions are too high, then you simply don't go on. It's got to be a fun, enjoyable experience. Don't put yourself at risk.
No, that's really good advice. So how would you encourage those then, Helen, that really feel that fear? Because I mean, this is, HeadRightOut is all about stepping outside of your comfort zone and doing something that's a new experience. And this for me was a relatively new experience, but not completely new. But I still felt that fear today, and I still had those moments where I wobbled and thought, oh gosh, really? And I still dreamt about it last night, which is always a sign that it's on my mind. So what advice would you give to encourage people to face their fears and go ahead and try SUP for the first time?
Definitely make sure you go with an instructor, go with a SUP school. We are able to provide all of the equipment that is required for your first time in the water. It's about wearing comfortable clothes that you do feel happy to wear, and actually just being a little bit brave. That is really key. You've got instructors with you who know the area and will tailor the session to your ability and skills so that you enjoy it. Wherever you get to in that session, just it needs to be something that you think, I'd like to try that again. And I think if you come off the water feeling like I achieved something, then you're ready for the next step.
Yes, I definitely felt like I've achieved something today. I mean, what are your age ranges that you deal with? I say deal with, I mean offer. Yes, that sounds much nicer, doesn't it?
Over 12s at the moment, and if they're under 8, if it's a group under 18, we need to have them with a parent on the water as well. Parent or guardian will need to be on the water as well with them.
And what about an upper age limit?
We haven't really, because it's down to how you can be really fit and well at 95, and feel that you'd really like to try it, and absolutely, why not? If you are physically fit, physically well, and there's no reason why you shouldn't give it a whirl.
Brilliant. And yeah, I mean, I have to say, I mean, Mike, obviously he's 69. He was 69 a couple of days ago. He does have a few hip problems, and he had a little bit of sciatica today as well. And he managed pretty well, I thought, all things considered. He hadn't told me he had the sciatica issues, but yeah, and he hopped off for a while and took a few moments to let his body get used to being off the board, and then he got back on again a bit later. So yes, it worked well. Right, so, well, this has been a very, very exciting day then. All in all, I mean, you're hoping that Blorenge SUP is going to take off. It's been exciting in that you have built up quite a lot of bookings between last week and August, and I'm interested to know where you see this in, say, 3 or 4 years' time.
Well, do you know what? We've been absolutely blown away, really, with the number of bookings that we've had. I think we launched on Thursday. We put the announcement out and we put the first bookings on. And I just couldn't believe the number of inquiries that came through within sort of 24 hours. And literally 3 days after making that announcement, we are fully booked through June, July, and now into August. It's been absolutely incredible. There really is a pent-up interest, and just people are really keen to do stuff that's local, and we are lucky enough to have this on our doorstep. In 3 or 4 years' time, I would love to see this become something that we can scale up, that we can devote more time to. Damon and I both work full time at the moment, so it's just weekends and perhaps one night in the week that we're going to be able to do through the summer months between May and probably really the middle of October, in all honesty, and then probably a bit quieter through the winter months. So yes, if it can be something we can do into retirement and beyond, that would be absolutely phenomenal. Making your hobby your job, it's an absolute dream, isn't it?
Oh, yes, it would be fabulous. And I have to say, I've got to just roll back there to something that you said. You work full time. Wow. I mean, that is incredible when you think about what you have to do at work, and then the enormity of setting up a business like this. It's taken you 18 months of hard graft, I'm sure, to set this up and launch on Thursday. I mean, that really does deserve a big medal and a big up to you and Damon and to Blorenge SUP, because and you're still working full time. You're operating this, but still working full time. So I really do hope that this levers itself into something that you can scale up and start filtering out your full time job and weaving into something that is more SUP orientated. You also said being able to continue into retirement if you wanted to, and I think that's wonderful to be considering something that is suited to you in your older years, and that just speaks volumes about SUP, about supping, doesn't it? That it is something for all ages.
It is, and I think it's not just keeping your body going, it's about keeping your mind going as well. And this is a really social activity to do. You go out in the canal, and you always meet people walking along the towpath. Everybody's happy to stop and talk to you. There's lots of people with an interest in it. You can go out and peer paddle, you can go and join other groups. There's a real online community around this, and a real drive by lots of organisations to get people participating in it. So it's huge at the moment, and I do see it's something that keeps you young at heart.
I love that. And would you say, safety wise, is it okay to go out on your own?
I think it would be, you really do need to go out with an instructor in the first instance. You absolutely need to make safety your first priority. You need to make sure you've got the right kit, that you understand the weather conditions, that somebody knows where you're going and when you're going to come back. If you're doing it in different water environments, they all come with very different concerns and risks. So if you're out on the sea, there's a whole new range of issues that you need to take into consideration. I would definitely say to go out with a school or an instructor until you are really comfortable and really aware of what you need to put in place.
I would echo that. I think, having gone out with you today, I definitely feel more confident than I did earlier, and I know that I am going to need perhaps some more instruction before I then feel comfortable with going out on my own. But yes, it was definitely an enjoyable experience. So What drives you, Helen? I mean, this is a bizarre question perhaps, but you've got so much going on in your life, potentially with work and with family and home. You know, what drives you and what keeps you going to do this?
Oh, well, it's lovely. At the end of the day, there's nothing better than getting the board, chucking it on the canal and going for a blast. You know, it's a really good way of taking your focus away from whatever's happened during the day and just having a look and taking in what's around you, just having a chat with people. You can just instantly feel yourself relaxed, and you've got to be in the moment, otherwise you're going to fall in. So you do need to concentrate. And actually, that's really refreshing. You get back and you've taken a breath, you've absorbed some of the green, you've seen the heron, or you've seen the kingfisher, or if you've watched the fish jumping out, and it just transports you. So, you know, it's not another thing to tick off my list at the other day. It's just absolutely something that uplifts me. It's pure pleasure, really.
And what better driving force to have than that? Pure passion and pure pleasure. I mean, you speak from a place of passion. I can hear it. And the fact that you enjoy it is pure pleasure for you. Just you share that and you offload that to us. And we feel that, you know, when we're learning with you. So, no, fabulous. So, Helen, where can people find you if they're interested in finding out more about what you do, perhaps booking with you and finding out where you operate from? Where can they?
So if you put Blorenge SUP into Google, we will come up and it will take you straight to our website. You can have a little look at us. There's the booking online system which is available. Our phone numbers are on there, or you can email us if you've got any questions or queries. We operate from Gilwyn, from the launch site at Gilwyn. There's a car park there, there's a picnic area there, very accessible, and it's on a really nice stretch of the Mon and Brec Canal.
Oh, Mon and Brec is just, I mean, I know we're both probably, really biased because
not at
all. You pretty much live on it, and we do live on it, and it is just beautiful. It, you know, it runs around the contours of the hills and the mini mountains, and the views are just spectacular, aren't they? So yes, what better place to learn to sup than here? Wonderful. Well, Helen, thank you so much for your time. You've given us 2 hours of your time tutoring us, and now you've given us time just sharing more about Blorenge SUP. But I really do wish you well, and I'm pretty certain the listeners will wish you well in the success for your business. But thank you very much for coming and talking to us.
Thank you very much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Well, I hope you appreciated the nature of the raw sounds that were generated from that journey along the canal on the boat, and the sounds from the towpath too. It wasn't the quietest of episodes, I realise that, but it is what it is. And even the noise of the other boats going by just add to the character and the liveliness of the episode. Now, I've got to say, as nervous as I was on the paddleboard, Helen made me feel so comfortable. Each time I go back on a board, I still get the jelly legs at the moment, but it doesn't seem to last quite as long. And I can always hear Helen in the back of my head, just coaxing me through, talking me through what I need to do. And the power and the importance of having tuition like that, just having a couple of hours with an instructor, is not to be sniffed at. And it was so, so helpful. Now, I can't quite believe what Helen was talking to us about, that it's taken them 18 months to set Blorenge SUP up, that they are both working full time as well as running this new business. That is absolute commitment, and what a passion project. They are just working to get this and make this a full and vibrant new business. And there's such a need for people to get out there now and onto the water and learn paddleboarding. It's such a good time for them. I loved what Helen said. It's something that keeps you young. God, I need more of that, definitely. But also I loved the way she said that she just looks forward to the end of a day, the end of the day of working. And there's nothing better for her than getting the board and just chucking it on the canal and going for a blast. I just loved how she said that. And just taking you away from whatever else has been happening for you during the day. Yeah, that really hit home for me, and that's what being outside and that outdoor medicine is all about. It's just having that opportunity to be mindful and to be in the moment and to be outside. Now, I thanked Sarah Williams last week for inspiring me to start this podcast journey. And this week, I would really like to thank Lindsay Ann. Lindsay Ann Gould, she is the founder of Podcasting for Business and her new venture, the Podcast Boutique. And she has given me so much support and technical advice and has always been on hand to answer any silly questions that I might have. And yes, I'm so grateful. So Lindsay Ann, thank you so much. This has been such a crazy whirlwind, and finally I feel like I'm finding my feet. Now, although this podcast is aimed at midlife women, we welcome HeadRightOut moments from anyone. So we've got a HeadRightOut moment to share and celebrate today. So that can be teenagers, that could be, younger people in the 20s and 30s, men. I just want to let you know you're not cancelled out. It can be anyone. If you have stepped out of your comfort zone and done something that you really felt pushed you beyond the boundaries of what you would normally do, and then you felt like you benefited from it, let me know. And, I could be reading your story out on here too. I love to share these moments because it just goes to show to other people, it proves to other people the power of stretching that comfort zone. So today, this is a HeadRightOut moment from Glenn Pilkington. And I know Glenn through the Yes Tribe, and he follows HeadRightOut on Instagram and on Facebook. And when I posted a picture of me paddleboarding a few weeks ago, and I asked if there was anybody else who had pushed themselves out of their comfort zone like I had that day, because I'd had a real case of wobbly legs, he came back and this is what he says. After leaving hospital and recovering from COVID, I realised it would be some time before heading back to the mountains. So I picked up my camera again and started completing low-level routes and sharing my photos. It was just a short, sweet message, but he added this super lakeshore photograph. There was a moody sky and mountains in the background and this beautiful glassy lake. And Glenn is standing there with his back to the camera, looking wistfully, I'm assuming, at the mountains, probably wishing he could go up and adventure there. But what a beautiful photo. And I know the power of being outside and regaining his need to be outside by taking his camera out there and sharing the photos with us, his followers. It's kicked off his love for being outside again. And I'm sure that was, really hard to do after having COVID. Don't think it was mild COVID. I know he was hospitalised, so not a pleasant experience. So Glenn, thank you very much. If you want to go and have a look at some of Glenn's photos, you can follow him on Instagram at gp._everydayadventurer. That's gp._everydayadventurer. Glenn Pilkington, thank you. So next week we are going to be chatting with Cherry Hamrick. She is 74 years old with the energy and enthusiasm of a 24-year-old. And she has been walking every day for well over 500 days now since the first lockdown. And she's a kayaker, she's a dancer, she does the splits, she does the most amazing splits. I mean, I have never been able to do the splits, but Cherry can. So yes, we will be chatting to Cherry next week. Don't forget to hit follow in your podcast app and share. Let's help HeadRightOut grow to what it should be. Let's get the message out there. I hope my conversation with Helen may have inspired you to head out of your comfort zone and into the outdoors, keeping your head right and healthy. HeadRightOut hugs you all.